Welcome to the world of strategic management, an exciting course. In most institutions, strategic management is a capstone course which covers the experiences that one would have had in areas such as marketing, human resources, business practices, decision sciences, etc. This particular course, being put on by the UTech Academy, involves you looking at organizations, looking at the decisions management make in terms of competitive advantages, in terms of looking at the industry, looking at the environment, and determining the best course of action for the organization. We would expose you to areas of environmental management, looking at the internal and the external environment, having an analysis of Porter's Five Forces model of industry analysis. We will be looking at corporate strategy, business strategy. We will be looking at vertical integration, areas of international strategy, looking at the global environment, looking at areas such as strategic alliances, joint ventures, and the extent to which organizations diversify. In the Jamaican context, we would want to look at what is happening in the Jamaican economic environment. We'd want to look at some of our major organizations, such as Grace Kennedy and Company, Ray and Neville, as large organizations, but we'd also want to look at small organizations, the medium and small enterprises, because all organizations have to be involved in strategic management. Interestingly, one would also want to look at the non-profit-making organizations. The church has to look at strategic management. Educational institutions have to look at strategic management. In the area of leadership, which is a major area of focus, we will be looking at leadership in the business environment and also in the non-profit areas of operations. Now, most of us are familiar with Disney. We would have visited Disney's theme park in Florida, mostly Orlando. We would have taken the children. We would look forward every year to this exciting trip to see Mickey Mouse, etc., etc. So it has been a great company for many, many years and is one of the larger companies in the world. In 1984, Disney's stock price had been flat for a pretty long time. And what we mean by flat is basically the price is not moving, it is stable or probably declining. And the board now becomes very unhappy with that particular situation. So that the profit at that year was sort of disappointing at $242 million. And by this time, the company got most of its profits from the theme park. 70% of it came from the theme park, approximately 22% from consumer products like the Mickey Mouse. You know, you buy that key ring, you buy the brochure, you buy little toys for the children, etc., etc. And only 1% came from entertainment through films. And as you know, Disney at the point owned Paramount Studios and a number of other studios, because that is what they really use for their to make their pictures. So as a result, I mean, if your prices are not moving and your shareholders are not getting a good return, you would expect them to be dissatisfied. In 1971, when Roy Disney, the brother of Walt, died, the board decided that they had to do something. And what they did, as a result of the dissatisfaction and wanting the company to go into this different direction and also to generate a profit, they decided that it was now time to hire a new CEO, which is expected. And they wanted somebody who was known, who was dynamic, who had the level of leadership skills, competencies, knowledge of the entertainment business. And so they picked on that gentleman called Michael Eisner. So in 1984, he was hired, mainly, as I said, because of his extensive experience. Now, looking at the company then, you as a result, he decided that, well, look, I mean, something has to happen. If your prices are low and if your profits are not where you want them to be, if the shareholders are unhappy, what do? Well, one of the things you do then is that you increase your prices. So they increase admission prices. They focused on the movie studios. You may recall that the movie studios were only generating 1% of the returns. And one has to recognize that people want to go to movies. In 1984, we did not have the cable. We did not have so many television picture stations to look at. So people went to the movies. So if people are going to go to the movies, what better thing to do than to target your movie audience and increase your prices? And they also use Mickey Mouse as a major drawing card. They also looked at diversifying, and in strategic management, when we speak of diversifying, we are thinking that you go into other businesses, and down the road we'll be looking at related diversification and unrelated diversification. So in related diversification, you want to go into the type of businesses that are closely related, because you have to look at the level of management competence, you have to look at the extent to which you have the manpower to look around. So at that point in time, the market capitalization was basically, as shown on your script, approximately $2 billion. And by 1994, 10 years after, it moved to a staggering $28 billion. That's basically, the market is saying now that that is the value of your business. And what do you account that? What is that account? What is that the result of? The result of that, the fact that you look at the organization, you restructure, you increase your prices, and you go into other areas.